Hey, folks, it's NotJay with another episode of the Chronicles of NotJay. And tonight it's just going to be a paint and chat. We've got me, of course, got McMurray, and we got, well, he's still special, but he's working his way up to not being a guest anymore. We do have Mr. James Wapple with us this evening. I know you guys aren't here to see my ugly mug, so let's go ahead and pull everybody on in. And here we go. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me this evening.
Thanks for having us.
Already got comments as usual. Now, before I dive into the comments on the texter, I just received this message prior to going live. Got this message, well, let's see, coming in at about 45 minutes ago. Garm, whoever you are, Garm, thank you for the comment. It says, NotJay, when's your next show? I'm having withdrawals, waiting for your and Wiley's next episodes. Since Matt has taken a hiatus and Wardrobe is busy with his move, it feels just like it did in Lord of the Rings when the Fellowship was broken. So, I think we got a fan, guys.
Don't forget about Jeffy. Don't forget about Hex to Hex. He's always on. Never any good miniature stuff, but
yeah, well, you know, he's my Hex and Counter game guy, and and of course we'll be talking about some of that in the near future. I'm actually hoping to get out Monty Lamar and put it out on the table and see if I can't get something going with it. So we'll have to see. So we've got Dave Hall in here. It says, good evening, chat away. Yes, we will. It says, nice work on R2, 3PO, and here. Well, thank you very much, Dave. I appreciate that. John Longshore's in the house. I don't think I've ever noticed that C3PO had a silver leg. Yes, he did. In episode, in Star Wars, which later became Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. He had a silver leg. You just didn't notice it because you rarely saw a full body image of C3PO in the movie. And excuse me. And then Dave again comes in with nice winged hussar to be finished in a few minutes. Yes, yeah, he's already, of course, halfway through the horse.
This is the second one.
Yeah, it's the second one. He already did one while you were talking earlier.
Yeah. So I'm working on this beauty here that I printed up. This is from a company called LV427. For those that know, that's referencing the colony in Alien and Aliens. But they make these 3D sections that I'm going to be using. This was a freebie to see how it worked out. But they've got just scores of different groups. This one is from the group that I'm going to use for my Tantive 4 build out. They're also working on one they call the Imperial Cell Block, which is very much like the either from the Mandalorian, where he goes in and rescues the one Twi'lek, or of course in Star Wars when they're rescuing the princess. They are also coming out with one for, they're calling it the, I can't remember, the USS something or other, but it looks like very much like Star Trek. So very cool. Chuck, evening, sir. Thank you for joining us. And then, of course, so I'll be painting on this tonight, kind of a test to see how well I do with it. And then, McMurray, you've got what, 10 millimeter cavalry? ACW?
I do. I was originally hoping to do some of these 28 millimeter little boats, but I finished this one yesterday.
Yeah.
and got it rigged. Again, I apologize to everyone trying to watch this at home. It's hard to see the rigging. There's not a whole lot. There's only 4 lines on this guy. But at the same time, it's got to be a playing piece. So I was going to work on something like this, but then I want to get all excited and finishing this one yesterday to go with this other one that's just gaff rigged that I did over the course of a few days ago last week. So yeah, we're getting into some cavalry here. The issue that I'm seeing is I was wanting to separate these by the hats that they were wearing. And I seem to have, in my excitement a while back, glued just everybody to the same. Oh, no, okay, here we go. There we go. So we got wide brim and then closed brim hats. These are ACW models. I think what they'll wind up being used for, however, is an Imaginations type campaign.
Okay, cool.
Matt was really big in the Imaginations ACW type stuff. I got into it, built an army, and then it didn't go anywhere. So with Little Wars TV bringing out their live free or die rules, those should work quite well with this. The scales are already it's designed for a 10 millimeter scale.
Nice.
But so that alone isn't the big thing. The big thing is that it's designed for miniatures to be on like 1-inch-ish bases. Mine are on 30 millimeter, and it's designed to be fast playing, and easy to learn, which it by all means appears to be. I haven't played it yet. I've read through the rules several times, looked at how everything is put together. There's a couple questions that I have, but that's a-okay. It's a brand new rule set. So using the stuff I already have built, I primed some more infantry today. I'll run downstairs and grab that in just a minute, and we'll see what we can knock out. This shouldn't take too long if I can stay on it.
Outstanding. And of course, Mr. Wapple there halfway through his Wing Hussar, of course, that he 3D printed. Looks very, very good.
Where'd you get that file, James?
So these are from Highlands Miniatures. They kind of do a mix of some historical, sometimes semi-historical. Lately, they've been basically doing Warhammer Empire stuff, but now, oh my gosh, their October release, it's basically Army of the Dead, just done way better than the old Army of the Dead. I mean, wow, oh my goodness, so tremendous. It means now that I can take my old plastic Army of the Dead, cut them off at the waist, and turn them into Riders of the Dead, like I did to this guy here.
Nice.
We took, I think it was a fire-forged Templar Knight. So that's actually the horse and the feet. Actually, here, wait, we got this right here. So that's, same thing. Same fire-forged horse.
I was watching that stream.
Put a couple of forge roll bits there, and obviously doing a lot of conversion stuff. But we've done, this is also another one of those fire forged. This was, I think, like a men-at-arms horseman right here. And then this was a Templar Knight. And you can still see, that's not the Army of the Dead. All it is this from the waist up, and then we sculpted the cloaks down there just like we did on Prince Imriho here. And then some Tomb King bits on Rogaine Lightning here. So really, really enjoying this ability to be able to just print out whatever instead of having to buy horses and bits and pieces and cobble them together. So much nicer instead of stealing a horse from this. Just like these right here. Okay, this printing out a Candish chariot is a heck of a lot easier than trying to do something like this, where I'm taking a Tomb King chariot, having to slice it in 2 places just to get it to fit on the dang base, and then taking 2 of those fire-forged horses and pirating those to make a chariot. This, like 3 hours of printing and practically no assembly, or this, which we're still not anywhere near done with yet because we have much more sculpting to do on that. So
plus the price differential.
I mean, if you want the metal ones, which you don't because they're hideous and 99% of the time not available, but that'll set you back about $50.
Yeah.
For one of those.
Yeah. $50 buys you 1.5 liters of resin.
You could, if you were to get because normally you're going to have somewhere between 4 and 10 of those in your army. You
Uh-huh.
could buy the resin, the printer, and a wash and cure, or you could have 5 or 10 chariots.
Right?
Yeah. Your choice.
All up to you.
All right, so I got some other comments here from John. I always used just plain old popsicle sticks. I think big, huge boxes of them are cheap. Those slender sticks, I think, would drive me crazy. Referring to what you got that mounted on there, McMurray.
Yeah, with the little stuff, it really helped having the slender guys in case you got to get up under stuff while you're priming.
Yeah. Panzer Scott's in the house. He says, the Polish Army Museum in Warsaw has winged hussar equipment and tons of other armor and tanks. Beautiful stuff. And then John comes back with, funny that Polish winged hussars are actually Serbian mercenaries.
Such is life.
Whatever it takes.
They were under Sobieski's command. That counts.
Were they under a Polish flag? Were they getting paid with Polish, whatever Polish currency is called? Then, hey, they're Polish. They are the Polish. So, McMurray.
Oh, look at that.
What?
What's up? No, I was just saying Todd's here. What's up, Chris?
Oh, yeah. Hey. Saying hi, listening for a while, driving home, 1 to home 2. Look at me. I have 2 houses. Woo! Anyway, some may know, some may not, but we're going to go ahead and let them know now. How excited are you for 2 weeks from now, Mr. McMurray?
Oh, I'm psyched. I am super duper pumped. I can't wait.
For those that don't know,
playing Wiley.
Yeah. So those of y'all that don't know, Jay Wiley of Wiley Games has a invitation only gaming weekend coming up, very similar to my brother's invitation only game weekend in July, my invitation only game weekend in January. His is in October. So, I got one in every quarter so far except for spring. So, if someone in the area wants to do a spring invitation only gaming event, I'd be more than happy to attend. Anyway, so we've got that coming up. I don't know if Jay Wiley is going to be doing any live streaming of the games that weekend. I know I'm not going to worry about it because I'm going to be having too much fun playing with the games than I would, want to worry about, setting up the computer and the camera and all that jazz. But I will be taking plenty of pictures, and I will do kind of an after action report, that following Wednesday, as long as you're probably going to have to work that Wednesday, aren't you, McMurray?
I think actually that Wednesday, that week following, I should be open most of the evenings.
Okay, cool. So that Wednesday show will end up being a review of that weekend with photos and maybe some video showing all the different games that we'll have been playing. There's going to be, of course, 2 Action Steve's Star Wars table. There is going to be Jay Wiley's London Victorian age Gothic horror table. Werewolves and vampires and witches. Oh my. It's a gorgeous table. Outside, weather permitting, in the backyard, we're going to have, crashing lances, splitting lances? I don't remember. Thomas Foss's game.
Breaking lances.
Breaking lances. That's it. Thank you. Good Lord. So that's going to be available. And as beautiful as the Star Wars and the London Victorian Age tables are going to be, Chris Clucky is going to be there with his 54 millimeter French and Indian War stuff.
So you're going to have a permanent erection.
Dude, I will.
Nope. Just, yep, you will. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. If I still took photos with 35 millimeter film, there would be no less than 7 or 8 rolls of film used on that table, because it is always gorgeous. So yeah, it's going to be an amazing weekend. And we'll talk about it and have lots and lots of fun with it. So we got that coming up to us in the very near future. Other gaming events, unfortunately, due to COVID's resurgence in Missouri and specifically the Kansas City area, Midwest Game Fest has canceled their in-person convention that's going to be held in November, unfortunately. So yet another year of no recruits. That makes me very sad.
That's fair.
So, but I do get to have a consolation prize of getting to go to Disney World the following week. So, and we've got Pau Bojorquez. Saludos desde Colombia. If I'm not mistaken, that means salutations from Colombia. My Spanish is weak, which is really sad, and that's the wrong color. Which is really sad because I don't know Spanish as well as I should, and I grew up in South Texas. And we've got Mr. Hex to Hex in the house.
What's up, gents?
Hello, Jeffifa.
What y'all all up to?
We're painting. You can sit back and watch Mr. Wapple go ham on his winged hussar there.
Go Wapple. Go Wapple.
Hey there.
It's your birthday. James, how you?
All right. How about yourself?
I got nobody to holler at.
So,
How's
I can
PCS
find
going?
one for you.
Mr. McMurray, evening.
Hexy, how's PCS? How's Baptism of Fire?
I'm posting a video now, and I've only got 2 turns left.
Oh, baby. Are you excited?
I am. This is really, really enjoyable.
Good. Outstanding. That's good to hear.
Got to watch hockey for the first time tonight.
nice.
So I'm
Who's
just
playing?
freaking head. Well, the preseason Capitals were playing the Devils. It's over now. Perfect time.
Who won?
The Devils won the regulation, and then they did like a simulated shootout just for practice, like an overtime shootout.
Yeah.
And I think that was, hell, I don't know. I didn't even see it.
Good gravy.
So I like this preseason because that's when you get to see all the young faces or new kids coming up from the minor leagues.
Yeah.
Love that stuff.
Cool. So, since we don't have a topic this evening, we're just chatting. What do you got gaming wise going there?
Well, like McMurray said, I'm playing Baptism by Fire. Hopefully we're going to finish that out in the next night or two.
Cool.
And then probably set Brazen Chariots from the BCS series up. Or I kind of don't want to stop because I'm liking the rules and I'm starting to really get a good grasp of them. But I might sit up. Well, McMurray, you and I need to do something, that's for sure.
Let's do it. Let's play.
We got a
I don't
couple
know.
to choose from.
We do. I have
We
no
got
idea.
Africa. We got Ardennes.
We do. We're gonna wait and play our den when it's December, though.
All right, so we'll check that one off.
We gotta wait for Todd to play. We gotta wait for Todd to play Panzer Battles.
All right. Oh, whoops, sorry. Get off of there.
All
Good
right.
gravy.
I hit the wrong button.
It happens.
We can.
I've got a question for you, Jeff.
All right.
Do you have a copy of Monty Lamar?
I do. Right there.
Okay. At some point in time,
I will.
you and I, whether it's on screen or off screen, need to get together and see if we can't figure out how to play that stupid game. Not that it's a stupid game, but you know what I mean.
I mean, it sounds like you just said it was a stupid game, Chris.
It's a deep game, that's for sure.
What's that?
It's a deep game, that's for sure.
Yeah. So I've played a couple of turns on it, but I'm still
Right back.
still kind of up in the air on it.
Well, you're a step above me if that's the case. Because I have not.
So, and I'm not gonna be like McMurray. Well, if I was gonna be like McMurray, it would have had to have happened this month, and this month just flew by.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna hold to the. I'm only gonna play the game when it actually happened in history.
Yeah, I do want to get around to the CSS stuff. So
Yeah.
eventually I will.
And that's CSS means that it's company level, right?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yep. As a matter of fact, there's like 5 or 6 in that system, but that's the only one I have.
Yeah, isn't there one like for Tinian?
Taipan, Tinian. There's some modern war or Cold War stuff.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah. See, you went and said the CW word.
Had to say.
Because if it's not World War II for historicals, it's definitely Cold War that I'm interested in.
Right.
Let's see. Chuck says play Hannett.
Chuck, I'm going to let you play Goss now so you can help me move along with it.
And old Chestnuts in the house says, did someone put James on fast forward? If we put James on fast forward, all it would be a blur.
There'd be a third
Pow,
one of these
greetings to
done.
Colombia.
Yes. So we are. So not only are we seen in Japan and Australia, so we've got East Asia and Oceania covered. We've got Europe from time to time covered with Great Britain, but now we got South America. So we just need to find somebody, in Africa and see if someone is just bored enough down in Antarctica at the Scott base to watch. And we got all the continents covered. I'm going to bring Wapple up onto the full screen here, and we're going to see. Good Lord, man. It's looking good, as always.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm here dabbing black on the floor of my my terrain piece and doing a poor job of it, and he's halfway done with the damn horse. and we've spent the same amount of time.
Don't blink. Don't blink. If you
Yep.
blink, it's over.
Ah, shit! Did I blink and I missed a whole ass winged hussar?
Yeah.
I
He's
had to
on his fourth one now.
Oh,
I had
for
to print.
Christ's sakes.
Yeah, I had to print out a couple more while you were away.
There you go. Perfect. Beautiful. All right. So I went
So,
downstairs. What's up?
Are you? I'm assuming you're going with obviously the guy that's on the horse. Are you painting the horse like that, or are you painting the dude on the horse like the dude on the horse, or?
Almost like neither one, actually. Well, it's sort of, I'm thinking the feathers actually from here. I got some other references up here that I can see on my machine here.
Yeah.
Some of them I would have had to crop them down some more. I just didn't have time to do that. But I was thinking, because at first I was thinking about the lighter boots, I'll go darker boots. And then there was the guy that's on the horse, some of the freehand on him, and then the gold trim here on the armor. So kind of his armor there, the guy that's actually on the horse, even though the guy on this horse, his armor is more shaped like the guy on the ground.
Yeah.
With the saber there, so the guy with the lance. So what's nice is this guy, he's got lances, he's got the swords, he's got the banner. So, and there's kind of charging poses. He really, he does some really great stuff. I only just started doing highlight miniatures, I think it was last month, because what he was doing was really useful for some of the Lord of the Rings stuff that I want to do.
Right.
And it just kind of coincided. It was a happy accident. And then, of course, those undead guys that he just did, well, those would be perfect Army of the Dead, like we were talking about before.
And is that on my mini factory, James?
It's his Patreon.
Okay.
And that's the October release is basically will be the Army of the Dead.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
Oh, look, a bunch of stuff that I probably don't need to spend money on.
Right.
He's got a bunch of zombie guys already out, James.
These are not interested in the zombies. It's very specifically the new figures that he's doing really look like Army of the Dead. That's the key thing. And of course, since it's 3D printable, I can scale them down to up to actually what the Army of the Dead is. So we're just trying to fill in lots of gaps with the Lord of the Rings stuff. I know I just saw, I think it was Diwali Miniatures. They just posted what they're doing for October, and it's the Witch King, but also Black Numenorians, which the GW ones are hideous, fail cast. They cost $1 billion.
I was going to say, they're like $50, yeah.
Even if they're available, and they're hideous looking. Even if they were great casts, they look really awful. And of course, Diwali is going to do a much better job. I mean, here is, their trolls here. We've got, actually, this is, this is Medbury Miniatures here. So I might also play around with this too. This is, we might do this as more like a Highlander right here.
Oh, that's awesome! It looks like the Klansman.
It's the Klansman of Lusnera, whatever the thing is. Lochmanon, whatever, or Lamdadon. I think that's what it is. Yeah. So we'll try and get this guy going too at the same time as our winged hussar.
Hang on a minute. Now I got to pull my computer down off of where it's perched up there.
Oh, actually, here's so that's actually one of their warg riders right there. That's Diwali. And I think this is another Midbury Witch King right there. So,
what? Midbury?
Medbury. And I think where's the Eowyn? Yeah, here we go. So this should be very fun here. Gonna try and do a little diorama. So this is the printing goes around. We've got a King Theoden here, and we've got an Eowyn there. So I figured with this, do an Eomer and then a couple of Royal Guard, some kind of little vignette or diorama out of these. Should be very fun.
Oh man.
Of course, I still can't believe that no less than 2 weeks after I bought all of those Oathmark dwarves, all of a sudden, every single Patreon that I was doing all did not just dwarves, but essentially Khazad-dûm dwarves. So
There you
now
go.
I have endless supply of dwarves. Like even, okay, these are from Diwali as well. So this is one of their, basically a Vault Warden team right here,
Yeah.
done with the same kind of usual Moria scheme. There's just no reason to get stuff from GW anymore, which I really like.
I was about to say,
very,
there's something we could talk about, Chris.
What's that?
I don't know. Apparently, the rest of the world is finally figuring out that the evil empire is the evil empire because of some NDA that got leaked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It keeps popping up on my YouTube suggested stuff. And then I was working out and it just started going. And it was one of those, no. I don't need to hear about this nonsense.
Right. Panzer Scott says, James, have you seen the Lord of the Rings models on my mini factory from the Printing Goes Ever On?
Yep, actually, that's what those are from. These are from the Printing Goes Ever On. This is their chapter 14.
All right.
And
Yeah,
we
there you
painted
go.
a ton of the Printing Goes Ever On. This is, I think, their chapter 13 done lendings. And then we did already an entire army painting series on their dwarf. They don't just have the goat riders. So the nice thing about Printing Goes Ever On is that they've got 4 different goats, 10 different bodies, 20 different heads, and 60 or 70 different arms. Left arms, right arms. You want a shield in the left arm or the right arm? Doesn't matter because he's got them. You don't want this
Cool.
kind of helmet. You don't want a head with no helmet on it at all. You want a lance, shield, whatever. You can do basically anything you want. And then, of course, he's also got his version of the Warg Riders. Oh, that's the other thing that Diwali is doing. They're doing the Warg Marauders. That's the Warg with the 3 goblins on them. And then, of course, we've been painting some of these. These are from Printomancers. They're basically the same folks that do Asgard Rising, lots of Norse stuff. And we painted this up on stream Monday. Yeah, painted this up on Monday because we didn't have the Armada ships prepped, ready to go. So we just did that on Monday. That was pretty fun. Nice little 5-hour stream there.
Very nice. Very nice.
Let's see, what is it? Oh, they have Eagle. I mean, Printing Goes Ever On. They're, like I say, they're on their, 14th chapter. Oh, yeah, where's that little Gobbo? This is one of their really hilarious. There we go. Where are you at? He's around. There he is. Yeah, really. This little crazy guy is absolutely hilarious climbing there. And I had to do the rocks myself, but I really love that particular pose. I think I've already done about a dozen or so of those.
Very cool.
I think, what was it? I think it was Titan Forge. They actually did in one of their most recent months. I think it was maybe August or September. They basically did Far Harad stuff. So that's really tremendous. That filled in another gap. Of course, after I bought some Frostgrave Archipelago, basically tribesmen that were supposed to be that. So I'm sure probably by December, that means everybody's going to start doing, since I also bought 2 boxes of those crewmen that I showed you, you know what's going to happen. Everybody and their dog is going to start doing the Corsairs of Umbar.
Right.
I'm just waiting for that, which is great because maybe they'll do things like the Arbalests and some bosuns and maybe some special characters too. That's the nice thing about the Printing Goes Ever On. Like, he'll do different versions of the special characters. So that, like a different version of Eowyn, and of course he's got and now this is the 72 mil, but he did a gaming size Dark Galadriel and regular Galadriel. Of course, he's got Elrond and Arwen and all that kind of stuff. He wisely changes all the names, and he's Diwali kind of takes a little bit more of a chance. I guess GW really hates Diwali because their stuff looks so much closer to theirs.
Okay,
Yeah.
so wait, is that person on Patreon? Can you spell that? If GW hates him, I want to go back him on Patreon.
So I believe it is spelled Davale. And I think that's how you spell it. Diwali Miniatures.
Yeah, buddy, I found him. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt, James. I just gotta, that's
And
somebody I'd like to throw stuff at.
well, I was gonna do a sort of like a collab video or like a live. I was gonna stream live with an English channel that's kind of dedicated to Lord of the Rings. And then he saw how much Diwali stuff I was doing, and he says, "Well, I kind of work with GW guys, and they hate Diwali, so I've never heard from them since." So even just being associated with Diwali was enough to get the GW involved in axing content, apparently.
Wow. That's
Well, you know what they say. Fuck them.
the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
I mean, it's not like they're ever gonna die or anything like that. They will always survive. It's just when I try to tell people, I said, look, they're not that different. They may seem a little bit different right now, the way their ad campaign is going. They just want to get you, make you believe that things have totally changed, and apparently they really haven't changed.
Yeah, I heard that before. I didn't realize they were trying on a "we're not that bad" ad campaign right now. That's hilarious.
Oh well, I begged. Well, that's a story for another time. But
Fair.
let's just say there was a certain convention that was at a certain point where they were just like, you know what, we just need to kind of remove our association with GW and just kind of branch out, do our own thing. And they were 99% there. I mean, they were almost there. And then they went back. And of course, without telling them, GW changed the way the 40K, the table layout is. So every game was 6x4. So all of a sudden now they went with some kind of weird, like 5.5 by 4, or some bizarre measurement.
Yeah.
And Adepticon had spent years printing out mats.
Yep.
Like the really high quality mats with spacers in between them. And arranging their tables. I mean, they have something like 2,300 tables at that convention. They can't just change on a dime. And GW never really told them. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, we're changing the layout of the board.
Yeah.
It's like and there's people, they should just cut the mats. And I said, you're gonna cut about 800 neoprene mats that you spent thousands of dollars on.
Yeah.
Let's see you do that.
Yeah,
first, you spend thousands of dollars on neoprene mats, and then we'll give you a scissors, and you can cut them all. And you can weep the entire time as you're doing that.
Yeah. Yes. Jesus. Well, I'm happy that people are finally, apparently, it took a while, but apparently people are finally understanding that, wow, people are kind of dicks.
Yeah.
Which, it's sad that it has to come out in a way that it hurts somebody, but hopefully people will get it now.
One would hope, but
like you said, they'll always be there. They'll always be. Again, it's not like Games Workshop having obnoxiously high prices is a new thing. It's just okay.
Actually, speaking of companies that don't do that sort of thing, what was the big new announcement that Warlord had? I could swear it was it new Italians or something like that?
World War II Italians.
Yep.
Basiglieri.
It's not like we don't have an entire Bersaglieri army and a bunch of Italian vehicles painted up or anything like that. We don't have any Italian stuff here whatsoever.
Yeah. Oh no, they're the Games Workshop of the historical world, 110%.
I just didn't know that they had some new Italians coming out.
They've been teasing it for a while now. It's kind of one of those, that's cool, guys, but stuff's already been around. Sorry.
Panzer Scott says, are the STLs the same size as the GW models? I believe so. And if not, you can size them however big or small you want to make them. So
the ones that are, let's just say that like Diwali and Printing Goes Ever On, they know who their audience is, and they try to scale them as close as possible. Now, Medbury, I've actually had to upscale theirs a little bit. They almost went a little bit too small, but some of the other ones, like arch villain or whatever, if I'm using theirs, I've got to probably shrink them down, like the ones that I'm going to do for is this Medbury? Yeah, for Medbury here. No, sorry, this is Highland miniatures. I'm gonna have to shrink these down at least 10%, probably to get them to Lord of the Rings size.
But that's okay.
Because-
I mean, that's the beautiful thing about 3D printing is if you've got a bunch of new stuff. I did that with some tanks that I found in order to get them right with my GHQ stuff, just because it's a bit of a weird scale. I took 3 of each of the tanks I was printing and did, 5% difference, high, low, and then right on the money.
Because here, let's. So here we go. There's a Lord of the Rings horse next to a Highlands miniatures horse. So there's a wee bit of a scale difference right there. And we'll have to probably give it a couple of tries. Actually, some of theirs from their welcome pack, I was using them for Men of Dale, like the new Dale Knights, the more heavily armored guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I tend to shrink those down at least somewhere between 8 to 10%, I think. And that was just a test that I did earlier today with a new resin because my usual smoky black ran out. So we'll see if that resin worked out okay and if the scale is okay. I just didn't get a chance to try and check those yet. I'm hoping that it is. It would be very nice because then we would have some lovely stuff all ready to go for war in the north. A little bit of Erebor, something to fight the Easterlings.
Panther Scott also says 60 inches by 44 inches. So 5 foot by
like 3 and 8 inches.
3 feet 8 inches. What the?
Whatever, man. It's
Just lovely, ain't it?
DUMB, dumb. And then it says you can buy third-party adapters to scale the map to a new size. Really stupid. Yeah, probably that's a third-party adapter. It's called tape.
Having been on the tape brigade of Adepticon, and this is when Adepticon was a quarter of the size it is now, it took an entire day, an army of people taping stuff down, and then you got to remove all of that tape.
Yep.
And that it takes a whole bunch of bodies that they don't have, unfortunately.
Right. Well, I wasn't so much talking about for a convention. I was talking about, personal. If you've got a 4 foot by 6 foot game mat and you want to play quote unquote two tournament whatever to the tournament size at home, just tape it off.
Man,
the other bugaboo that they will do is they will adjust to scenarios. So deployment zones, all that stuff will be very reliant on the size of the board, which is kind of a pesky thing because they'll say, oh yeah, well, people are just going to play 6x4. They'll kind of make sure that you can't do that.
Yeah.
Because they've certainly done that in the past.
Right.
I mean, again, it's unfortunate. It doesn't really matter to me because I stopped playing 40K a long time ago, and well, they took away Warhammer Fantasy, so didn't have to worry about that either.
Exactly. Right. Like
I just kind of feel sorry for the folks that are still trying to play that.
Yeah.
Just that's why when I do get the chance to go to a convention where there are these tournaments, I do my best to make a really good looking table and play something that is, I don't want to say the same, but not even analogous, but something that's going to catch somebody's eye and have them come over to play, like Fistful of Lead. Or before I got heavy into Fistful of Lead, I was definitely heavy into Ambush Alley's Ambush Alley's game, both Tomorrow's War for sci-fi and Force on Force for moderns.
I mean, that was always our thing with Flames of War and Bolt Action too, was just, toss it out there.
Yeah. But it's just to show, hey, there are other games besides the games that GW produces or that Privateer Press produces or
Warlord
or Battlefront. There are other options, and you can play with the models that you already have.
Just always the nice thing about particular historicals, man.
Yeah, because it's been said many times on this channel, you can't copyright an M4 Sherman.
Yeah, right.
Or
in the ridiculous frustrations of Games Workshop.
Yeah.
Julius Caesar, or the Romans, or the Normans.
Yep.
Bring back Warhammer Ancient Battles, you dicks.
They used to do tournaments of that at Adepticon at the old hotel.
Yep, I remember that.
I can remember seeing that somebody was doing, I think it was Carthaginians and Macedonians, something like that, because I saw a whole bunch of, when you see something that's 28 millimeter and it's walking around with a 10-inch tall stick, you're like, oh, that must be a Sarissa.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we've got Greeks over here. Yeah. And that was really cool. They had a lot of cool stuff going there. They actually supported it for a while there, put out a bunch of books. It was really sweet. And then, no longer, but.
Yeah, they realized, well, see, they didn't, they did the failure of locking in their miniatures the way Warlord has locked in their miniatures by saying, okay, we're going to go ahead and make this 10 millimeter. You can use it for 10 millimeter or 15 millimeter instead of saying, we're going to scale everything to 13 and a half.
Good job. Good job, Warlord.
We're going to scale everything to 1/1800th.
I thought for sure they had bought the old line from the old, or the line from the old Axis and Allies naval stuff, but apparently they have not.
No. The Axis and Allies were not necessarily to scale.
They weren't, but they were nominally 1/1800, and that's never been an issue for Warlord before.
Yeah.
Especially now that they appear to be really into the trend of buying existing miniature lines and then putting stuff around them, or at least getting licensing to existing miniature lines like the Italieri models and Skytrex. I saw them, sneaking some stuff about 15 millimeter bolt action, which I would assume is just because they got the Skytrex line.
Yeah. Panzer Scott comes in with one-page rules, has a Grimdark 40K-ish game system. Supposed to be good. Haven't tried it yet, but watch Tabletop CP play today. Very cool. And then he says Historicon released their event schedule. Heading there this year. Hopefully COVID doesn't put a damper on it. Fingers crossed for you, brother. 2022 is our year, McMurray.
For Historicon?
Or one of those over there by Jeff.
That's fair, yeah. I'd be really excited to go. Sorry, I'm still hunting around for a 3D printed pirate ships, which is a bit of a pain if you have any discerning taste whatsoever towards ships.
I'm wanting to pick colors for my boxes that aren't all the same.
That was just way too easy. I'm going to let that one slide.
Shush. So I've got These light gray here. I don't want to go too dark. I'm wondering if I should do like a blue or something. A blue or maybe a yellow. Yellows are always a pain in the ass to paint, though. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Honestly, I think you can do it.
We will see.
Man, I want to know what size this print is to start with.
So speaking of companies making 3D prints, Skullforge is doing an outstanding job of putting stuff out.
They do all the Star Wars stuff, don't they?
Star Wars and Marvel.
Okay, that's right.
He's starting to do Marvel now. And there a new series of shorts has come out. I don't know. They're longer than shorts, but they're not as long as normal episodes. They're about 22 minutes each. And on Disney Plus, they're Star Wars in the Star Wars universe, but they are done in different styles of anime, Japanese style animation. Some of them are good, some of them aren't. I have to say, I really liked the very first episode. Very much felt very Akira Kurosawa-esque. Looked very Akira Kurosawa-esque.
He made anime?
What's that? No, he didn't. But the anime looked like if Akira Kurosawa had done it, if that makes sense.
No, but that's okay. I just assumed Toshiro Mifune is the lead, and then there we go.
Yeah. Anyway, so it was pretty good. Some of the other stuff, the second episode was more Saturday morning style anime, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is it's more cartoonish.
Like Scooby-Doo or something?
No. Actually, it's actual anime, like, normal Japanese anime, but it's the more cartoonish style, not the more realistic style. Anime. Anyway, but it was about a young Hutt who didn't want to be in the Hutt Guild and was in a rock band, like a rock and roll band in Star Wars.
All right.
Anyway, the point is, within a day after all of these episodes were released, because they did a whole season drop. They didn't do it like they do with the regular Star Wars stuff. They did a whole season drop on it.
Mm-hmm.
But like a day or two later, and maybe not even that long, the guy over at Skullforge already had some of those, some of the different characters from the different episodes already built and out, ready for printing.
Got to just be like Forrest, where he's stupid fast at that.
Yeah. So
Forrest can bang out a model if it's not too crazy pretty darn quickly if he just sits down and hammers on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Forrest has plenty of experience doing it, but that blew my mind how fast he could do that as he was describing it.
Okay, well, we're not going to do a yellow anymore. Ugh.
What? Oh. That's okay.
I think if I want to do yellow, I will use yellow pin marker.
You know what I think I might have to do, Chris? I think I might just wind up needing to try and find
Printable Scenery has 28 millimeter wooden ships for sale.
printable scenery.
Yeah. I can tell you Printable Scenery does a good job. They're the company that Jay and I got the our French farm from and scaled it down to a 15 millimeter. The one we use for what, a tanker?
Oh yeah. Oh, there you go. There's a bell. That's pretty good. I'm about to say, I think I might just wind up needing to find another trumpeter 1/60th scale. What do you call it? Mayflower.
There you go.
That's a good model. It's a little small, but it's not too bad.
Right.
So that's hilarious. These printable scenery things look very much like some Bloody Plunder stuff, but not absurdly priced. I think I still might. I think we were talking about that yesterday, Chris. Miniature Market has their new starter box on pre-order for $95.
Yeah.
With 2 ships and 26 dudes, that's a pretty. Again, that's not a price you can get too angry about, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's not horrible, especially when the actual MSRP is what, 135.
Something like that. I'm just happy that it seems like they're finally bringing it in line with a reasonable historical miniature. How to put this? A reasonable historical miniature budget. Because for a long time their stuff was just absurd, especially for only having 3 or 4 sculpts.
John says Michigan Pro or Con coming this weekend, but then read that their info, we are encouraging individuals to wear a mask if you are unvaccinated. Guess I'll probably not go. Just sounds too risky. Yeah. The Wiley weekend, being that it's a private thing, he is requiring that we present our vaccination cards on arrival, which I'm okay with.
How big is this boat?
What's that?
I said, how big is this boat?
Big enough.
See what you did there. See, it's nice when it's $14 or $10 and you can print out 2, 3, 4 of them. I think I might just go with this cheap little $10 guy and see how it looks. It's a little fella.
We're checking in on James here.
Oh, Jesus.
He's going to dick around with that horse for the next 35, 40 minutes, and to me, he's done.
No, dude, look at that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's like a samurai made of light, except for it's a winged hussar, and it's made out of resin. But even so, it's all about that contrast, man. Look at that.
Looking slick.
Bob Ross needs some super light highlights on here.
So I've got a question for you, James.
Yep.
I know with acrylics, colors like yellow or white can be very difficult to work with because the pigment just isn't strong in a lot of the different acrylic paints. You don't have really that problem with oils, do you?
Oils, all of your, well, you can see, I always call this opaque alley over here. You got your white, brilliant yellow pale. If you're using cadmium yellow, that's opaque. So with oil paints, look at these radiants over here. Your lighter colors with oils, those are your opaques.
Okay.
Here we go. So like this Imperial Fist that we did here, this took a matter of minutes because Indian yellow, hit it with the brilliant yellow pale, and I think I had started out with some of the like Van Dyke brown and asphaltum in some of the darker areas, and this is so easy. It took literally minutes because again, the white, the yellow, those are opaque colors. So you got no problems when you have to paint something yellow with the oils or red or any of those colors that are normally a more difficult, challenging, whatever with the acrylics because maybe they're too translucent. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that with the oils. Not at all.
Okay. That's what I was figuring. John is bowing out. Take care, buddy. Have a great night. We've been playing Amazon's New World. Great game. If you can stand waiting 4 hours in the queue to log in. Reminds me of the days of yore with World of Warcraft. Very similar there. So have fun, John. Thanks for dropping by. We'll see you next time. So how far have you gotten there, McMurray? Have you gotten anything done, or you just been looking at stuff?
I got distracted looking at cool miniatures.
It happens, brother. It happens.
No
shame.
One last real fast question, James. What the Clansman of Lossernark looking thing? Where did you say that one was from? The Scottish guy with the big claymore.
That's from Medbury Miniatures. That's another one of the Aussies.
Yeah, okay.
And he was the same guy that did the Candish chariot that you saw.
Okay.
Now his Patreon stuff, I think all of his latest Patreon things mostly are like Witch King, some of the other rates, some goblins, and I think some wraiths, and let's see what else. Some of the spirits and specters. Basically, a lot of Angmar stuff. Also, I think some Warwicks too. So a ton of Angmar stuff, which is kind of handy because GW obviously doesn't really produce that anymore. So, and I know that the printing goes ever on, and I think maybe Diwali too. They've got a lot of your Fellowship stuff, Hobbit stuff. They have Ammon Hen. Lots of Mines of Moria. Like I said, you could buy the ancient metal troll. This is probably about $30-40. This is a 20-year-old figure. And that it took me basically longer to assemble that than it did to prep 3 of these.
Yeah,
seriously. That's including the basing and everything. Because this is just a single piece print right here.
If you're not 3D printing, this dude I've got up on my screen right now is a Reaper figure that I think was $4 or $5. It works just great. It looks, I feel like they blatantly ripped off the GW troll, but I've seen people just convert the hell out of this thing, and it's super out of focus. But yeah, so again, we got a little bit of a wonky axe on there because it's the. Let's see if we can.
It's that bones resin.
Yeah, it is. But again, it's $4, and if you're not 3D printing, bam.
This was a Bowen's figure that I converted into an Easterling troll with using the epoxy sculpt. We did this one on the Twitch channel.
Oh, that's so cool.
That was really, and then of course we gave them the same kind of designs that our Easterlings have. So there's our our War Priest. Because Easterlings can have a green alliance with Mordor, and of course you have a Mordor troll chieftain, then he can have his own warband. And I thought, well, this would be very appropriate with an Easterling army.
Oh, that's so cool.
Lots of Easterlings had to die to be able to get enough stuff to make that armor.
It's okay. It's a sacrifice you're willing to make. All right. Okay. You know what? Back to we're gonna paint. We're going to paint. That's what we're going to do. We're going to paint. We're on here to paint. We're going to paint. We're not going to wait until 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning to get painting when I've got a couple hours left to paint. We're going to get painting. We're going to start doing this. Okay. So now you can look over at James and see well-painted cavalry, or you can look over here and see hot garbage. All right.
It could be worse.
Oh, it could. It could.
So whereas you were looking at nifty models. I'm in the process of doing that now myself.
Yeah, see, it's dangerous. Again, I really want to find good pirate ships that don't drive me nuts, or ships in general that don't drive me nuts, are not easy to find.
Yeah.
Again, Old Glory's got a couple that aren't too bad. I own them because I have a problem. I was lucky enough to catch those two small guys I showed you guys earlier. I caught at Miniature Market on like super sale. Those hulls were $2 a piece. I don't remember what the hell they call their little random resin stuff they do. But here's a couple other pieces of it. It's just can't really see it. It's like it's ruins. So there's a
Oh yeah.
L-shaped guy. It's like 15 millimeter, which is fine with me. But they do it. Allegedly, they used to do it out of the leftover resin that they had after doing runs of All Quiet on the Martian front figures.
Yeah.
Which cool, whatever, fine with me. But I don't think that it's necessarily commonly available. Like, I don't think they sell it on their website, which is kind of a pain. So I was thinking we could do a video about this. So I feel like a dick making a video about here's some stuff that I did that you can't get to.
Yeah.
Especially if it's not something like, if I made the damn thing, that'd be one thing. You know, if it's scratch building this, but it's not. I'm using a commercially made product that's just not
Available anymore.
findable. Yeah. So I'd just feel like a little bit of a dick if I did that. So we're not going to do that, but that's all right. But that's okay. That's right, world. McMurray's growing up. We just didn't do something because I would feel like a dick about it. I guess this is growing up. But that's okay. Growing up isn't always bad.
Could be worse.
Not by much, but it could. No. Could always be worse. The one kind of cool, nice thing about doing this imagination stuff, it's a bit of a two-edged sword. Because on one hand, nobody can tell me, hey, man, you're painting that wrong. But then on the other hand, there's not like I can't just look at something and be like, oh, that's how I need to paint this. I kind of got to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just.
You don't have any reference material.
Yeah. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Because again, nobody can get angry about how I painted it. But at the same time, it's just extra decisions. But that's all right. It means I'm painting these. Originally, these figures were, I think these are just kind of generic ACW cavalry. But I'm painting them in the same paint scheme as I did on my the guys who I got that were sculpted as whatever the hell that castle down in Texas is, where they attacked a bunch of kindly Mexican soldiers in the 1820s. Omala, something like that. I don't know, whatever. But so I've got a bunch of guys who were originally supposed to be defending that I then, again, multi-based for this Imaginations campaign instead of doing just straight Civil War figures, because I figured that would get pretty boring pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I've got kind of a bunch of different stuff. I'm painting them up like I painted those guys. And that's kind of the nice thing about really small scales like this is if the paint scheme matches, the sculpts don't necessarily have to be perfectly aligned. You know what I mean? If the paint scheme matches, you can really get away with using figures that might not, look, when you get real close up to them, they might not be the same period. They might not have the same uniforms. These guys have, frock coats, and those guys have hunting shirts and hunting coats. But you know what? Unless you get this 2 mil or 10 mil figure about a foot tops from your face, you're never going to know that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, again, that's kind of freeing. You can use different figures, which gives you a little bit of variety on the tabletop, which is what you can notice. You know, not everybody's standing the same way. That you can see, that you can notice.
Right.
But yeah, and again, at small scales where you don't have to worry about big flat surfaces. I know we talked about this before, like when I was doing the Anglo Zulu 10 mil stuff. You can really, contrast paints really shine, because where they fail every single darn time you try and use them is when you have a flat surface. You know what I mean? And they look like garbage. They do. I use them all the time. I enjoy them. I understand what they're for. I don't understand how people try and paint Space Marines with them that are all big flat surfaces. But again, for stuff like this, the red is so incredibly helpful for British. Holy crap. That, and I did some, that's what I was using for those 2mm blocks for ACW. It's perfect because they're runny enough that they get down and everything. And especially for the Union in the blue, with the Confederates in the red, you can, or in the gray, you can kind of get a little more loosey-goosey. You can get a little more freedom in there. But yeah, they're with the blue, when you need a good strong blue for that, you know, those woolen U.S. uniforms in the Civil War, they do a great job. Anyways, James, I'm sorry for espousing the virtue of non-oil paints.
Well, that's okay. We did a whole series of videos when those things first came out. I think it was 2 years ago in June. Yeah, something like June 15th is when they came out. I had to do a whole bunch of videos on those.
Yep.
And painted up a bunch of the, I think it was Lannister crossbowmen. Well, I know we also did this one over here. This one was with the contrast paints, but we used them like oil paints, basically. I just mixed a couple of lighter opaque colors with because it's a Kilian green. The tattoos are Leviathan blue, Vulpes pink on the skin tones there, Gore-Grunta fur there. I think some of the clothes are snakebite leather, but it's mixed with a couple of lighter opaque colors. It basically turned them into, well, super fast drying oil paints, I guess.
Yeah,
oil paints,
pretty much.
we're missing the primary draw of oil paints.
Now, of course, the difference is that an $8 tube of oil paints is going to last you about 50 years, and most people an $8 jar of contrast paints lasts them a week.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
Especially because the stupid things seem to knock themselves over.
Knocking on some permutation of wood somewhere, wood-like substance. I have yet to knock over a GW paint pot in my existence.
Oh, eat a dick. I had some in my car that just popped on me. Actually, this skeleton bone right here that I'm using, or skeleton horde, you can see where it's all over the outside of the damn thing.
Yeah.
It's sitting in my car and it just popped. That was one of the very first McMurray rants we ever had. You remember that?
I remember.
Got pissed off and called England that pissy little rain island because it never gets hot enough to apparently pop a pot of paint.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we're not going to go down that road today.
Walkabout Games, Chris Long, A says, hello, gentlemen. How's it going? A.
Hey, bud.
Going good, man.
How are you there, bud?
Thanks for joining us.
Man, Chris Long, man, that guy has been 3D printing and painting.
Oh, yeah.
World War II moderns like the Dickens, man. That man likes.
He's got a I think it's the Saturn, the Elegoo Saturn.
It's got to be because he had a full Churchill,
which is it's the big brother of my Mars.
Yeah,
and he printed out an entire Churchill.
Yeah, no, he had the whole
28mm
and the turret, or the hull and the tracks and the turret. Yeah, all in one print, which is damn impressive. Whenever I do that, I have to put the hull on one print, then I do the tracks and the turret on another one. But yeah, that was incredibly impressive. He did that. He did a Jagd Panther. Like, these are not small vehicles.
Yeah, exactly.
I figured out that I could cram a I can get a 28 millimeter T35 chassis onto
Oh,
my
okay,
printer,
cool.
but I'm pretty sure the nose of the chassis and the front tips of the tracks will be sitting in resin
Yeah.
when the print finishes, because that's a huge friggin' tank.
Hey, McMurray,
Yo,
I got to go get a Coke. Hold on one second.
oh, eat a dick. Watch this, James. Guess where Chris is gonna go? His ass isn't even gonna leave the seat. Yeah, because his wife's awesome, and they were in Walmart, and he saw one of those little Tommy Boy refrigerators, which are just perfect for storing juice or soda. Yeah, and so now he's got a refrigerator on his paint desk.
I've been trying to figure out because I got to get myself a large format printer, and people I've seen, the Anycubic, the Mono 10 or whatever, the Mono X. Then there's the well, now they've got the Jupiter. There's the Saturn. There's the Jupiter. Then you've also got, I think it's the Mighty. That is the the Sonic large format one. So I just don't know which one is which, because the build plates are different sizes, and I know there's a different cost to them as well. And everybody tells me, oh yeah, you got to get the Saturn, and the next person says, no, get the Anycubic, and the next person says, no, don't get either of those, get the Mighty, and it just oof.
Well, from the two people that I know that have had Anycubics of any size, don't get an Anycubic.
Being your brother and I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm not gonna say that I'm unhappy that I ever got. I had a Photon, James, the original. And I mean, I paid $60 for it, right? That's not, I can never be angry about that.
No.
But the most frustrating machine I've ever worked with, including, some time in manufacturing as a profession, that I got it to where I don't know that I ever got a full 100% zero failures print out of that machine. In the end, I couldn't even get it to print anything. And I got pissed off, and I got a Mars 2 Pro, because that's what I was sitting here watching Harrington work with all the time. John, if you're watching, buddy, I miss talking to you. And he helped me out a ton getting it set up. Wiley helped me out a ton getting it set up. Chris helped a bunch getting it set up. And I haven't had a single failure on that thing. Actually, I take that back. I've had troubles printing off a skiff for Star Wars, but that's me having support trouble.
Yeah.
Not a failure of the machine.
So Chris Long says I moved my contrast to different containers, and I make up my own contrast paints. Fair enough.
Look me, I'm Canadian and I'm cool and stuff. But
he did a Jagdpanther in one print.
Yeah. Jesus.
On the Saturn.
Yeah, that's not a small thing.
Pedro Scott says, I just upgraded to a Saturn. The increased bed size is awesome. He's laughing. I have a bar 6 feet from my painting table. Very nice. And then he says, I like Elegoo hardcore. Workhorses for me.
Yeah, that's...
What is the bed size on the Saturn for those that have the Saturn? Bueller? I know it's going to take a while for it to catch up and then for it to answer, but...
Ooh, there's a question. This just occurred to me. Mr. Christopher.
Yo.
Is your FDM printer astoundingly busy at this point in time?
Not yet.
Or if I were to send you some small pirate ship files, would you be able to help me out with that?
Oh, yeah.
In exchange for goods and services.
Yeah.
Of a non-sexual nature. I respect Donna too much. Sorry.
Right. No. Give you an idea. This little doohickey here with all of its intricate boxes was about a 14-hour print.
I mean, there's nothing resembling a time crunch here, especially since they don't need to get done by October 15th now.
Right. No, I'm going to be printing out more of these probably in the not too distant future. But if you want to send up a file and
baby.
Let me see what I can do. My print area is ostensibly 12 by 12 by 12. However, when it gets on the edges, it gets a little wonky.
Yep. Nope, I got you.
So. Panzer Scott says it's bigger than the Mars. I need to look it up. I know it's bigger than the Mars. That's why it's called the same. 7.5 by 4, basically 7.5 by 4 3/4 by almost 8 inches.
Oh damn!
That's a big.
It's a big bed.
Yeah, that's a big bed.
That's pretty awesome.
That's nice.
Luke Fellows found one that was like the damn thing looks like it's about a foot across. I don't remember what it is, but the joke I think was that just like you could take a Mars 2 or a Mars and print out almost an entire 10 mil army in one bed, was that I think the joke was that you could do that with 28 mil with this other guy, which is fair, and that's freaking cool. I know that for people who 3D print almost as a business, that'd be pretty indispensable.
Yeah, it would.
190 by 120. Yeah, that's big. That's big.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that if I'm not mistaken, that would be able to print this in resin.
Probably. It might be. That looks like it's probably 6 feet. Oh yeah, it absolutely would. You just have to print it on its side.
This is, what is this? 50. It's just over 5 inches by 5 inches.
Yeah, so the 120 would be your killer trying to print it flat.
Yeah.
But if you tossed it on a bit of an angle or you printed it vertically, it would easily.
Yeah, you would be able to get it to go like this all day long.
Oh yeah, or I mean, if you wanted to speed it up a little bit, I bet you'd print fine at a less than 45-degree angle, especially if you toss supports along that bottom. That's the one thing I've seen having problems is when I've got big, wide flats like that. Like that's what keeps failing on this speeder is like the bottom of that thing I just fill with supports, which everybody's always about, oh, you're going to waste resin. Man, like I'm not good at this. I'd rather put a whole bunch of extra supports there and waste some resin on supports than have the inevitable failed print that will result from me not really knowing what the hell I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Chris Long said, I'm just about to do something I have not done in over 30 years.
Uh-oh.
Back to oils.
Oh, okay. I was like, uh-oh, this might get dark. But all right, cool. Yeah. Oil paints. That's what we're talking about, Chris. I'm happy that that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Let's
no
put
doubt.
it that way.
No doubt. So, what I've been really focusing on the last week is getting my not ready for primetime World War II naval combat rules a little closer to primetime.
There you go. There is something I am surprised there's not more of in the 3D file community is like 1 to 20 or just any like small scale World War II stuff. I would pay out the dick for something like that. Like especially, US stuff, you'd think it would be everywhere because German, Japanese stuff, okay, you're paying to print a file once. Like you're not going to print 4 Bismarcks.
Right.
Essex class carriers, Iowa class battleships, Fletcher class destroyers. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Easily get, a dozen or so of those, depending on what you're looking for. Like if somebody, let's put it this way. If somebody put out a Battle for Samar set that had all the ships you need for Samar, which is not too terribly many, I would absolutely have no problem tossing shekels at that.
You know what? I gotta see if there's somehow a way to take the plan and the different views that you see in books. How you'll have the down. You look down on it. You look at the broadside of it, etc.
Yeah.
see if there's any way to generate a 3D file off of something like that.
Well, I mean, that's inevitably, I'm sure, what people look at while they're creating 3D files. I just don't know.
Yeah.
Well, see, and that's the thing. Since Warlord decided they were going to do their Humpty Dumpty in
1/1800th.
yeah, you get people making cool 1/1800 models every now and again. You see them, except for they're designed to be in 1/1800, so the smaller barrels are designed to be about what you're going to be able to get out of 1/1800. So then, whenever I try and print them in 1/24, they fail, and I've got chunks of cured resin floating around, causing issues with my print, which is frustrating. Like, how about that, guys? What if we just made 1/1800 scale stuff and we beefed the barrels up just a little bit?
Yeah.
Like, you can find some older stuff, but it's all really older stuff, so it's FDM designed.
Yeah.
So then your resin printer is going to print it out looking like a cartoon.
Chris Long says, I'm having a hard time not backing the World War I naval Kickstarter, all 3D prints. What Kickstarter is that?
Maybe you should throw a link to that in the
Yeah, you should.
along, because I have problems too. And honestly, if you like doing, like, Age of Big Gun stuff, World War I's the period to do it in. It really is.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Now, how you are with Battle of Samara, I am with the Battle of Surigao Strait.
Well, exactly. Except for, again, you still have to worry about. I'm just talking about you on big guns shooting your big ship, shooting big guns at one another.
Yeah.
You can't beat it. You know what I mean? In terms of, you've got like Jutland, right? You've got how many ships with 15-inch guns on each side?
All of them.
Blowing the living.
All of the 15-inch ships were there.
Yeah, it was the largest, like, big gun fight in naval history, period.
Yeah. But
you've got Trafalgar numbers of ships, but there's an ungodly number of dreadnoughts in there.
Yeah. Well, and even the 14-inch battlecruisers, the 12-inch battlecruisers. I mean, you're still flinging a shit ton of metal down range.
Exactly. Yeah, that's oof. Yeah.
I would, if I had the wherewithal and I know I've got the technical capabilities, but I don't have the ability of patience to learn how to do it. I would figure out how to build 3D STL files myself for ships, because I've got the World War II U.S. Navy ship recognition manual on CD-ROM.
Oh yeah.
So I've got especially all the American ships. Obviously, all the American ships look like, and all the Allied ships look like. If I had the wherewithal to figure out how to 3D model, I think that's something I would do, but I'm lazy.
I mean, I bet you could, like, I'm not saying you have to wind up with something as wild as, GHQ stuff, but creating something that was on the level of Panzerschiff or
CNC.
CNC would probably be pretty tough. I feel like making something that's on a Panzerschiff level is something you could do, not straight off, but without a whole lot of trouble, because there you've got one-piece castings. You're not looking at separate cast turrets and all that, and separate cast superstructures.
Right.
One-piece casting. The guns are laid directly on the deck, which have 1/2400.
Not a big deal.
Who gives a shit?
And really, the real trick, at least in my mind, what I would want to do. Damn it! Now I'm thinking about doing it, figuring it out. Starting something small, like with like a Fletcher class destroyer. All right, thank you, Chris. He posted it on the Facebook page, on the Facebook group. Hey, Chris, are you part of the Discord channel or the Discord group? If not, you need to be. Oh yeah, you are, because you're posting all the damn pictures. Never mind, that was stupid.
You post all the time,
dude. I've been snorting corn dust.
Jesus.
Garma's in the house. Hey James, what size brushes and what brand are you using? That's a good question. Let's bring Mr. Wapple up to the forefront here. Looks like he's got.
So the liner brushes are the 18-0, the 10-0, and it's Princeton. Normally I'm using the Cotman, but there was a shortage. They were just kind of out of stock on a lot of the Cotmans that we used to use. And I had to get something. So I found these, and these have been durable as hell. These things have been used for a couple hundred hours now, basically, and they still keep on ticking, which is kind of scary. Now, of course, oils are a big help for that, because oils are way gentler on your brushes than that acrylic stuff. Acrylics basically start destroying your brushes as soon as they touch them. It's just the nature of the beast.
That's why Mr. McMurray over here is using piece of shit Michael's brushes.
Exactly. Yeah.
And these things, they're only about $4 on Dick Blick. I think you can even find them at Michael's and Hobby Lobby for probably about the same amount.
That's actually not a bad price for a paintbrush. It's when people come at me like, I paid $75 for this brush.
Yeah.
Vast majority of the time I'm using these.
Suck a raccoon.
Right here, in a pack of 12 of these is $5.
Yeah.
This is what we use the vast majority of the time.
I'll be right back. That's what I'm using right
now. Chris Long says, oh my God, Winged Lancers, awesome. Yeah, it's okay. So Chris, we started an hour and a half ago, and the only paint that he had put on there, besides the prime, the Stylres primer, was that green black base stuff that he just lathers on and then rubs it off with his makeup sponge. And so he's done all of this in the last hour and a half. He says, oh God. Yeah. If you're not ready for it, you'll need a Kleenex and a cigarette. I'm just saying.
Let's see, but this one went from primer to this in, what was it, 5.5 hours, I think, on Monday, and that's on stream too.
Yeah.
So that's really more like 4 hours of actual painting time.
Was that an ermine that she had in her hand?
We had a big discussion on that, and the consensus was that it was something called a stoat.
Okay.
Which I guess is a giant weasel and comes in different colors.
Yeah, a stoat, ermine, weasel. They're all the same. Honey badger.
Because I look at first, I thought it was an otter, and then because they don't have ears. Basically, otters don't have ears.
No,
and then I thought maybe it was a fox because of the size of the ears, but the body type wasn't right. And then people said, well, I think that's a stoat. Now, because these guys are located in Russia, some folks thought maybe it was supposed to be a Kalinsky or a sable or something like that. But we just said the heck with it. Stoats have more colors. We went with the stoat. And that's because there was one that was almost fox colored. And that was the color that I was thinking about if this was going to be a fox. So, yeah, we just ended up going with the stoat. And she's got one in the little bag right there.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, stoats are between 7.5 and almost 13 inches long.
Because one of the references I found of a stoat, basically it was a dead stoat next to a dead weasel, and they had them stretched out on the table, and it was about almost twice as big as the weasel was.
Oh, so I was right. It is an ermine. An ermine is a winter stoat. It's a stoat will change its color to white in the wintertime.
And it makes its fur very valuable because I guess it because of that change.
Yes.
Because that's what Kathy was saying. I guess her group, it really sent off this huge search for stoats. I was not really expecting that. I thought more people would say, "Okay, are you going fawn, centaur, whatever?" That would be the debate. No, it was all about the stoat.
Yeah. Yeah. So the ermine, a quote unquote ermine, is the winter coated stoat. So you'll see like the classic robes of kings and queens of Europe. You'll see the white fur with the black with the black diamonds in the fur. That's ermine. So there you go. Chris Long also says, "Damn, mind blown." Yep, back to oils.
I mean, well, they really work. Well, you're doing bigger stuff or smaller, it doesn't really matter because these guys right here, I mean, size comparison right there. You got Jeeves here and Birdie right there and elevator going up. This was all 3D printed. And I think this was painted 8.5 hours start to finish with the oils. Wow. And it lets you do these kind of crazy blends here where you got like the magenta and the slate blue. There's even some greens poking their way here. You got magenta and green going together.
Yeah.
So you can do a lot of crazy mixes with that you can't do. And of course, this was a painting contest that I had to do. We had 50 minutes to paint this while being interviewed at the same time.
50?
50 minutes. Yep. That 50 minutes from start to finish. There was just, and you had to prime it black too. So that was even more of a crazy situation there. And of course, you were being interviewed the whole time. So you're trying to answer questions. I was actually painting a second miniature. Actually, I was painting this guy here at the same time, just for funsies, just because I had to get him done. So
just for fun. Oh, you want me to paint one model in 50 minutes? Screw you. I'm going to do two.
It sure does make the other folks real nervous when that happens, which is, I cannot confirm nor deny. There might be a little bit of sadistic pleasure going on there.
Hey, you do you, brother.
As Q once said, didn't he say so? One creature's torment is another creature's delight.
Chris Long says, "Yeah, just for fun, lol." Yep. All right. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm gonna have to seriously consider seeing about software that will let me do what I want to do and see if I can't pull off doing a decent ship.
Oh, geez, I have to start being able to sculpt myself just so that I can have certain things that I need. And people are saying, look, just get something like Mesh Mixer?
I've got Mesh Mixer.
They're free too, right? Aren't they?
Yeah, Mesh Mixer is free. But I'll have to. Chris Long says Tinkercad. Okay. I think I've looked at that. I'll have to dive a little deeper in there. But if I can come up with something that's the thing that I want to do is I want to be able to have it where you can scale it yourself. In other words, it might be designed to be 1/2400th scale, but you can scale it down to like 1/4000th if you really wanted to, and it still look good. We'll have to see what I come up with. because I do, like I said, I've been working on this set of rules for World War II naval combat for damn near 30 years now.
But I wish
I really should do something with them.
I wish there was basically technology where you could, because this is something I sculpted myself, just physical. There was some way to scan this damn thing, sculpt physically and then scan it and then build from that and rescale it, size it up.
So here's the thing. Last year, when Apple announced the M1 chip going into their computers, like the MacBook Pro that I've got currently on my desk, the new 24-inch iMac that they've got, etc. Apparently, there is either out now or will be coming out software that if you take 30 to 45 photos at different angles of a three-dimensional object with an iPhone, with I think the A13 chip, which is in the iPhone 12 or newer, so anything from last September to forward, you then feed those 30 to 45 photographs into this software on an M1 chip based Macintosh computer. It will generate an STL file for you. Now, I don't know if that software is currently out, but if it is, that would do exactly what you're wanting. That doing exactly what you're asking to be able to do with your bear or whatever the hell that thing was. What was that thing?
That is the Great Beast of Golgoroth. So these are the things that were hauling Grond to bash down the gates of Minas Tirith.
Oh, okay.
Now, of course, this is in the game. You have basically a ridden version of this where you've got, I think it's 9 orcs. Basically, there's 2 saddlebags on either side with 3 orcs in there, and then you got 3 up on top. And then actually you have a 10th guy who is sort of basically the driver of that. So it's essentially like a Mumakil for orcs, but less points, because the Haradrim Mumakil, that's about 300 some points, whereas that one's going to be more like 150, about half the points. Now, it's nowhere near as maybe deadly as, say, the Mumakil is, but it's something to get. It's a little something different for Mordor besides just a whole horde of orcs.
Right.
And it was really fun to sculpt. I just did that one on stream, use the epoxy sculpt for it. And I know that some of the Reaper stuff, they'll kind of go both ways. They'll print out something and then they'll sculpt on it physically. Then they'll bring it back into ZBrush, or they'll sculpt something like part of something. That'll be scanned. They'll bring that into ZBrush and they'll resize it, work it, do whatever. So I know they've been doing that for a few years at Reaper, with kind of combining the physical and the 3D together just to make things go maybe a little bit faster.
Oh, no. Did we crash? No, okay, we're still here.
No, we're still here.
All right, outstanding.
So, something that we were talking about is that if I were to do 3D files for ships,
yeah,
I would want them to be scalable.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's created at 1/2400 scale, but if you wanted to go down to, say, 1/4000th,
that's hard. I mean, to a certain extent, it's not really doable, right? Because yeah, if you want to do 1/6000, when you blow that up to 2 times, to get it to
Yeah.
3,000, or like 2.2 times to get it up to 1 in 2,400. You're gonna tell, right? Like,
Yeah, but it could be done I think it could be done in a way that you could be able to make it where, okay, you don't have all the fine detail that you get on a GHQ model, but like you were saying with Panzerschiff, I mean, if you had something basic like a Panzerschiff model, you could go from 1/2400 to 1/3000 pretty easily if you wanted to. You wouldn't lose too much. So, real quick, McMurray, Donna found this picture in some of her dad's old stuff. Check that out.
Oh, fuck, nice. God, look at the superstructure on that thing.
This is USS Valley Forge during the Korean War.
That's outstanding.
Yeah, he was actually, I guess he was, at some point in time, he was on the Valley Forge, but he was stationed on USS Boxer.
Okay.
During his time in the Navy, during Korea. Whoop, son of a bitch. So, and you know what? I talked about maybe doing something simple like a destroyer. Destroyers are fucking difficult if you think about it, because you got the torpedo tubes and you got the depth charge guns and the racks and the turrets and an aircraft carrier might be the way to go.
Especially like a little kite carrier.
Yeah. The other thing that while you were gone, that y'all don't want to necessarily see me all the time, so let's do this. James had picked up something that he had personally physically sculpted. It's some sort of orc bear rhinoceros thing for Lord of the Rings. Anyway, he said he wishes there was a way he could scan that and create an STL file for it. And I remembered that during Apple's Dog and Pony show last year, when they told everybody that they were getting rid of the Intel chips in their computers and going with the M1 chips, that there was going to be software that worked with your iPhone and your M1 Mac. If you took a picture of a 3-dimensional object, 30, 45 photos, and then ran it through the software on the M1 powered Macintosh computer, it would generate an STL file for you.
That'd be pretty cool.
So I need to see if that piece of software is available yet, because I have an iPhone with the proper chip in it. I've got a Mac with the proper chip in it. I just need the software.
That's fair. That'd be pretty cool.
Then I could do stuff like that. But yeah, couple of different. There's been a couple of different suggestions on software to use to generate the STL files. So I think I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna see what I can come up with, and if it's either really, really hard, and
that's what she said.
I'll not worry about it, or if what I do produce is shite, I'm not going to worry about it. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
That's fair. Yeah.
Chris Long says, I hate 3D Kickstarters that don't do support on the models, fighting with getting everything to work.
So,
I have found that until recently, most pre-supported or models that have supports generated by the artist have been hot garbage. Now, that being said, these guys apparently were pre-supported and they worked out pretty well. So Skull Forge, I guess, is doing a good job of creating pre-supports. And I think where I've been running into problems is free files that are pre-supported seem to be the hot garbage. If you're actually paying for your files, which, literally you get what you pay for. That's where I've been running into problems. So, who knows?
All the Patreon ones that I do, they're really, really good.
Yeah.
And I did at least 8 different ones or something like that, plus all the other guys that I work for. They know if they're crappy, the word's going to get out there in 2 seconds, and they will be out of business. They can't afford to, first of all, not have the supports and then have crappy supports.
Right.
Because there's way too much competition. I remember when I first started doing it was only like December of last year when I started subscribing to Patreons and stuff. There was a good portion of them that didn't even have, like Diwali didn't have supports on theirs at all. At that, I think like November of last year, I'm not sure they had any supports on their Patreon stuff, but to survive, because everybody else, I mean, how do you distinguish yourself? Hey, we got free supports and they're good. Oh, that other guy, I don't know. You're going to give him your $15?
Yeah.
When you got to do all that work and all that pain in the rear end stuff yourself.
Yeah, I can see that being a bit of an issue.
Because I just think of that with the miniatures industry and other things. Everything is free shipping. I know a guy, his Etsy page, Etsy basically required him to have free shipping. He did not want to have free shipping, but Etsy said, "Look, this is the new normal. Everybody wants free shipping. Just charge more. Make it free shipping. Charge them $10 more."
Man, I'm still looking at this damn broadside Empires of Steel. There's got to be something weird about this. I'm pretty sure it's got to be 1800 or something.
Actually, I'll be right back. Speaking of, I want to look at that print that I was telling you about. That's another one of, basically this size here with that new resin. I'm going to just real quick duck out, see if it actually did make a print or not. So I shall return. 1 second here.
Oh, boy.
Alrighty. What is this? Oh, that's cool. Let's see. Only had one that was hot garbage off. The Patreon ones have been awesome. Yeah, again, I think it's a you get what you pay for type of a situation. So
it is. Oh yeah, it's 1500. There we go. Okay, that's fine. All right, back right in here.
So this is the box I painted using the acrylic paints. This is the box I used the paint pen on. I gotta say the paint pen one looks as good as the acrylic paint one, and it took like literally half the time. I think that's the way to go if I'm wanting to do yellow. One 1500 ships. What about them?
That's the scale that those are in.
Yo, okay.
Which again isn't necessarily bad, but it's a little too large for me. That's 3 foot to not quite the mile, 3.5 foot to the mile.
Yeah.
It's a little too big. That's okay though. They're beautiful looking. Wow. Damn. Again, I'm usually not too worried about doubling up my ground to miniature scale, but also there's a lot more detail on those guys.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I also have way too much crap I need to paint right now.
Well, they definitely hit their goal.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, they did.
They're
done-
at 14,529 on a pledge of 4349.
Oh yeah.
243 backers, 42 hours to go. $116 classes of Great War era ships.
Oh, it's good
So
stuff. It's a good.
what are their
Kickstarter.
tip jar? $48 or more Australian, about $35 gets you hunting grounds. 10 classes of warship gives you the Gangut, the Andrei Perovsny, and Borodino. Armored cruisers the Rurik and Bayan. Other cruisers Bogatyr and Palada, and the destroyers Novik, Ulfric class, and Izyaslav.
Cannot explain to you enough how little I care about Russian crap.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Let's see here.
That's okay. There are a ton of stretch goals that are pretty cool that they've unlocked on there, including some like naval observation aircraft, balloons, stuff like that, which is pretty slick.
So stretch goal 1, Black Sea Fleet. Stretch goal 2, Baltic Fleet. The Braunschweig, the Karlsruhe, the Bremen, and the B-97.
Yeah. Oh man.
Stretch goal 3. You get the Vancouver, the Active, the Bellerophon, and the Courageous. Stretch goal 4, you get the Royal Navy aircraft and carriers.
That's right. How's your painting going, Chris?
I got the floor done, got 3 gray boxes and 2 yellow boxes, and then I started thinking about World War II stuff, or World War II naval.
No more paint, more painting. More painting, not Jay. More painting. The people demand it.
I'm sure they do. Yeah, if they could have gotten to 22,000, they would have been able to get the hood.
There's enough models of the hood floating around out there. I feel like people will be okay.
Yeah.
Not that it isn't a gorgeous ship. Not to any of our UK viewers, it wasn't inevitably one of the most powerful ships in the world at the time, or easily the most well-known in the world at the time. But it was still a battle cruiser sent up to do a battleship's job, along with a battleship that just couldn't hold up, unfortunately. Which, again, there were still civilian engineers working on Prince of Wales. That would have sucked. Talk about not a fun place to be, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
And
That's
Hood,
okay.
Hood had been due for a refit for how many years? About 6-7 years.
Well, yeah,
They
that's
kept sailing it around the world.
right. Exactly. It was a PR ship it was a fantastic battle cruiser with, again, 15-inch guns that the UK turned into. Yeah, the Admiralty just turned it into a, hey, look at how cool we are, instead of keeping it up to date, right? Yeah, so you're absolutely right. That's 110% of the problem. And then again, it got sent out against a ship that outclassed it in virtually everything. They both had 15-inch guns, but what's the point of 15-inch guns when your fire control is 20 years old in a day and age where fire control is massively important and constantly getting improved upon? And when your ship wasn't developed when plunging fire was a thing because of
Yeah.
old fire control. So yeah, I would have been pretty pissed off if I was Lancelot Holland, but what the hell was he supposed to do? He couldn't just let the Bismarck go. Also, even if it is old, battle cruiser plus battleship going up against battleship and heavy cruiser, what the hell are you supposed to do?
The Germans did have an advantage of, for whatever reason, given their ships pretty much the same profile from a distance in the North Sea.
Exactly, right?
Oh, wait, we're both targeting the same ship and it's the wrong one.
And
Oops.
it's wrong, right? Yeah, that would have been a perfectly excusable mistake had they both been just lighting the Bismarck up. Unfortunately, they're both trying to light up the Prinz Eugen, and they didn't really do much to it, man. Nowhere near as embarrassing of an oopsie-doopsie misrecognition, again, as Samar, where it's like, oh, those have to be fleet carriers. No, they're certainly not. Oh, those ships look about the same, just a little smaller than those fleet carriers. They must be cruisers. They've got single gun turrets. You wackadoos. The hell are you guys thinking? Whatever. Anyways, still funny. Somebody was getting angry a couple days ago about people mispronouncing Yamato, or however the hell or whether it's
It's supposed to be Yamato. A lot of people say Yamamoto.
No, it's the emphasis, whether you put it on the ya or the mo, or ya or ma. Anyways, long story short, we blew the damn thing up. We can call it whatever the hell we want to. We won
Exactly.
the war.
Yeah.
Like, sorry guys. Like, we blew the thing up. We won the war. We blew it up when it was on its way to Okinawa to just get run aground and used as a mobile gun battery until it ran out of ammunition. Like, let's not act like it had, this massive sway on the war, or, it went down doing some glorious shit. It got shot out of the water.
Right.
In a classic, like, Curtis LeMay level, the only good kill is overkill fashion. Again, while on its way to do exactly the opposite of what it was designed to do. So, yeah. They did have Beehive AA ammo for the 18-inch guns, though, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, it is.
Freaking wild.
An 18-inch shotgun.
Yeah, like, holy crap. Then again, you're putting AA fire up like 16 miles out, so good for you. Like, there is that.
Yep.
That is pretty damn impressive. Granted, it's nothing like the sheer freakish amount of weight that you had in the last, mile and a half, 2 miles of approach to a, U.S. Navy vessel once everything around was covered in 40 millimeter and 20 millimeter emplacements. But again, that's neither here nor there. That's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about random stuff.
I remember seeing one of those Battle 360 documentaries, and they were showing the Japanese AA, and it was all the different colors, because I guess each ship had its own different color, so that they wouldn't be repeating coverage of a zone. And I first saw that, and it was one of the more psychedelic things to ever see in a documentary video, was AA fire, but all of the plumes are all different colors.
Yeah, but the Japanese were big fans of die packs for their big gun shells. Yeah. I was about to say, I know that played a huge, again, Hornfisher talks about that in Last Stand of the Tin Can Sailors, just how it was just a rainbow of shell splashes around like Gambier Bay and stuff. And especially once Hoel, Heerman, and Johnston started going in, just, guys, we need to make sure we don't drop below 30 knots, or we are screwed.
Yep.
But when your boat is easily small enough to hide in a pretty small rain squall, you're not doing too bad. We can just start lighting up heavy cruisers with our 5-inch guns. We're out of AP. Well, whatever. Shoot HE.
Shoot whatever you can.
Shoot Star Shell.
Right.
Whatever.
So yeah, I've just been looking through this one set of or this on Wargaming 3D's website. There's a guy, Gukek Miniatures, Ghukek. Chris Long posted it. He's out of Concord, Mass, and he's selling 3D World War II 3D files for ships and other stuff. Like you can download a USS Zimwalt class destroyer, German Plan Z carrier.
Man, that still chaps my ass about Victory at Sea, how they felt the need. They couldn't produce Victory at Sea without putting aircraft carriers into the Kriegsmarine and Regia Marina fleets. Like,
Yeah.
Get the fuck out. What? Stop being dumb. Put in something that makes sense and is cool instead of just making the exact same fleet box for every fleet you put out.
Yeah.
To the point of absurdity. Like, first off, don't put aircraft carriers in here unless you want them to just be targets. Because by the time they're on a table this small, with ships that big.
Yep. All right. So here is the World War II Battle of Midway collection. It's all 3D files. It's $100.
What scale?
Well, again, you can 3D print it yourself, but it's made in both 1/1800 and 1/900. So I'm assuming you could easily take those 1/1800 and downscale them decently to 1/2400. But you get 49 models.
I mean, Midway on the American side should pretty much cover early war ship classes.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, it's not. He doesn't necessarily give you the list.
Just pull up an order of battle for Midway. Does it say it's got everything used or everything that was present in Midway?
Well, let's see. We got one. Well, shit, that's the Texas or New York, and that wasn't even there. Or is that no? That's the Japanese. Is it the Fuso that it's had 12 14-inch guns and 6 twin gun turrets?
I don't know. That sounds
I
like
think so.
British design. Damn, look at that. 6 turrets.
Yeah. 2 forward, 2 aft, and 2 amid.
Were they centerline midships or were they offset?
Center line.
Ooh, that's weird. That's weird. I like it.
Yeah, I think that's the Fuso. So yeah, it's got all the. It's got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's got the Yamato there. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carriers for the Japanese.
6. I thought they had. No, they had 6. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the 4 fleet carriers and then the 2 tiny carriers.
Okay, yeah. I was about to say. I was like, they only had 4, but they had 4 fleet carriers. You are absolutely correct.
No battleships on the American side.
Did the U.S. have any battleships at Midway?
No.
I was about to say,
But it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different cruisers. It's got an aircraft carrier, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different destroyers. And
Is that 7 different variants of the Mayhan, Farragut, and Wix classes?
probably.
I mean,
And these were all designed to be printed on FDM.
Yep.
I might have to download one of his freebies and see how it prints out on. Like I can download the B25 for free.
I'm sure the 1-900 stuff would print fine on FDM. The 1 to 1800 would probably get pretty
Yeah.
long.
Well, all of the airplanes are 1-900.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's fairly common.
What I'm thinking of doing is download the B25 and print it on resin.
Oh yeah, do it.
And see how it looks.
Do it.
Looks like his carriers are 9 apiece. Battleships are 6 apiece. Cruisers and destroyers look to be 4 apiece. Well, you can get an OHP Oliver Hazard Perry class frigate for $2. There you go.
That's not World War II.
Nope, sure isn't. You got just scads of stuff. You can get the World War II Warship German collection for $32. Again, doesn't give an actual listing of what you get, but he does give you a picture of it. And of course, it's going to have the Graf Zeppelin carrier.
Of course. How could it not?
But you got the Tirpitz, you got the Bismarck.
You got Scharnhorst and Gneisenau, and you got pocket battleships.
Yeah.
Panzerschiffe.
Was it Holstein and
Schleswig-Holstein?
Yeah, that old carryover monitor.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got that on there too.
All right, let's see here. I need to put a skin tone on these guys. And then I might toss on a wash on the horses, and we're going to call these. We're going to put a fork in them. Or no, I need to put some sort of. What color is their equipment going to be?
Let's see. Garm says, McMurray, is that a cowboy on an ox to the upper left of your screen?
Yeah, that's the Mungo model from Knuckle Duster from you've got Knuckle Duster's Blazing Saddles line here. So you got Mungo mounted Sheriff Bart and Gene Wilder's character, and then you've got all 3 of them dismounted.
Waco Kid. Jim.
There you go. What do you like?
I need to get that set.
I got that, and then a winter Native American thing to use with the Footsore F&I kit, the Rogers Ranger, or the Blood in the Snow set, which I'm super excited. Dude, that I can use for pirates. They've got a bitchin' keelboat. Ooh, that's a good point.
There you go.
But yeah, that's the winter Native Americans are going to go perfect with that, because that's Rogers Rangers with snowshoes, French Marines with snowshoes, the whole 9 yards. So that'll be pretty perfect. I tossed those 2 together, and they're all great sculpts. Again, Forrest is a great dude. Forrest knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Tim at Footsore, same thing. Good stuff. Great sculpts. Good guy. By all means, guys, support those 2 small businesses.
Yeah, Knuckle Duster, the stuff that he comes out with, Forrest comes out with Knuckle Duster, is just amazing. It is.
He does a great job.
So, well, we've been doing this for 2 hours and about 15 minutes. I think we're going to wrap up.
I'm sorry I had to jump off for so long. It's
No, that's fine.
I feel like
We're going to take one last look at what Mr. Wapple is doing here.
holy freehand, James. Look at that saddle blanket on the back.
Yeah, 2 hours and 15 minutes in to this, guys, and his work is phenomenal.
Yeah,
It's
so
the
much
wonder of the oil paints, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so much for all those goobers you watch on YouTube who say they spend like 20 something hours on a model. Here's Jimmy over here hammering that shit out in, 2 hours. And that's not even including, or that's including all the time that he spent pulling out random models to show us because we ooh shinied on stuff.
Yeah.
Like, guys, I
Yep.
can tell you, your favorite YouTube painter, if it's not Wapple, probably sucks. But no, they don't.
Agreed.
They just spend more time painting models.
Yeah.
It's okay. Something tells me a bunch of them haven't been painting as long as you have, James. So,
And then this is what I got done. Merry Christmas, right? Yeehaw.
hey man, you're getting work done. You're putting paint on models. It might not be fast, but you're getting it done.
Yeah.
McMurray is weirdly more productive when it comes about time to go to sleep. So those hours from about 1 or 2 in the morning to 5 or 6. Again, that's when I finished off that whole boat, aside from a little bit of dry brushing that I did while I was on with NotJay yesterday night. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. You know what? I think next time that we do something like that, where we just get on to BS, we might hop on over to Discord and invite the guys over to join us.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
So, all right, boys. Well, thank you again for joining us. I hope y'all weren't too bored listening to us just talk about random ass shit all night. James, thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, you're still special, but you're definitely not guest status anymore. You're
routine, man. This is awesome. I really
you're as my brother puts it when he's got someone that's been on his show multitude of times. You're at super guest status.
I thought it was going to just be a piece of furniture.
You're really classing the place up is what you're doing. You're
yeah, exactly. It's like I said, But I think next week we're going to do some talking about some Hex and Counter games. I don't know exactly what we're going to talk about yet, but I want to get some Hex and Counter chat in here. I know Jeff will be happy for that, and some of our other watchers of watch because they came,
Clay and them tend to hop on when we do that kind of stuff, so I'm sure we'll get some.
Yeah. So anyway, well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. You guys have a great week. We will see you next Wednesday, and be on the lookout on the Discord server for a random. Yes, let me share that Discord link with you. Let me find Discord. No, that's Cheeto Box. There you are.
You should absolutely tag this video with Games Workshop NDA, because that shit's going wild on YouTube right now.
Oh yeah, and we did talk about it
for like 5 minutes. We did talk about that before we just got.
What is that, anyways?
No. So apparently, Games Workshop, obviously, they give out a bunch of free stuff to people, right? So they'll promote it. Apparently, the NDA that they've been having people sign when they start that enter into that agreement is just ungodly draconian, and somebody leaked a copy of it. So that was the big. There's been a hubbub again. It keeps randomly popping up on my YouTube suggested stuff because I watch miniatures videos, and I was working out and got 5 minutes into something before I realized it wasn't just an ad. Then started listening to it, and it was like, oh my god, why? How is this? How are people just now realizing that Games Workshop is dicks? Come on. But whatever. People are realizing it, and I guess that's what we got to be happy for.
Yep. All right. So there is a permanent link to, to the Discord server. Like I said, be on the lookout. One of these nights that that McMurray and I are on, we might just, say, hey,
That goes for you.
come on,
British
join
viewers.
us.
That goes for you British viewers too. If there's British folks or somebody on late at night, Paul,
Yeah.
hop on there, tag me, and if I'm awake and it buzzes my phone, I might hop on. Usually, I'm doing hobby stuff real late when it's your guys' normal daytime. So, holler, see what's up. Maybe it'll happen.
So, yeah, and for those of y'all that were concerned, I did fix the spelling for ancients.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
That's no good. We're all like experiencing the ghost of Matt there.
Hey. Yeah, looking at the World War II group, Chris Long has got some pretty good armies going there. Got some Germans going there.
He's been doing Germans for a while. They look really, really good.
Yep. So, all right, boys. Well, again, thanks everyone for watching. Have a great week. We'll see you next Wednesday, and talk to y'all later.
Same time, same place, folks.
Catch you later.